harmonies and melodic words of Bob Marley, one good thing about music: when it hits you, you feel no pain. Music holds limitless power. It breaks into your soul and makes you feel. Music is a constant, and while you might not always understand it, it perpetually welcomes you into an embrace like no other. One that is warm and full of light. And what it provides is different for each soul in need. Whoever you are, I urge you to open yourself to music and follow it wherever it may lead.
I am a music therapist. I am a practicum supervisor. So practicum is when you actually work with clients, so people who have special needs, work in partnership with music therapists, observing them, asking them questions, and then also putting into practice the techniques that you learn about in class. Gather information about a client, based on their diagnosis, where we're seeing them for therapy, and as much knowledge as we can have about why they are coming to music, what they want to get out of it. So after we know that information, there are definitely some specific techniques where, like, if you were in a more medical sort of setting, where we would do things even with people that aren't very responsive, like you can use heart rate monitors to match breathing or respiratory rates. So we would use that actually as a tempo. Maybe that client was agitated and we needed to help them soothe, or if they need some stimulation, we would match where they are right now with their current breathing, respiratory, and heart rate, and then incrementally increase that for some stimulation. So that principle itself is called the ISO principle. It's just that: meet the client where they're at, what they're giving you, and try to take them where you need them to go using music. I love to know things about the brain and like what is actually happening in the brain. It's chemicals and synapses and reactions, but then also realizing that a person's thoughts, feelings, experiences also influence not just the brain, but their behavior and all that stuff. And really just figuring out how to marry and converge all of these different things. So I believe that they're all very important. Like, I've had women that had a stroke come to me for speech therapy, and then we ended up doing some elements of like self-expression and songwriting because she didn't have a place to express how difficult and how frustrating it is to have a stroke, to not be able to express herself as fully, or even just to have a really bad day and to say, this is terrible and I feel hopeless. And when you do that in a musical context, you can write a song about it, and it's much more contained in a song, and it's a safe space. So this woman is in heart failure basically because of depression. So won't exercise. She won't really take her meds, like she's so depressed. Then this woman gets a dog, and she takes the dog for a walk. So she's getting exercise, and she gets the dog's food every day, and then so she remembers to take her medicine. And it just like turned things around for this woman. And this cardiologist was like, whoa. I never learned in med school about treating depression and cardiac issues With a dog, the way the heart works, it's actually the same as the brain in terms of like electrons and neurons. There are electrical impulses that your heart has. And so literally the heart cannot survive without emotional expression and without relaxation. Throat was like this guy, he runs marathons, perfect diet, fit as a fiddle, dying of heart failure. And eventually she figures out he lost a son and never processed his grief. That amount of grief and unexpressed emotion was wearing his heart out so that he was unable to function. I mean, he was dying of heart failure, even though he was super healthy physically. So music is processed in the brain differently than so many other things. It actually bypasses the logic center. And most of the time will go straight to the emotional center. So we use music in those settings for people that are very logical and analytical and all this stuff, because music will access that emotional part of their brain and start to help teach them how to release some of those things. What music therapy is it's an evidence-based medical field, just like physical therapy, just like occupational therapy, all of that. And it utilizes music to create and or repair connections in the brain that have either been born with an abnormality, kind of like children on the spectrum with autism or something, or to help create new connections for people who have had brain connections that have died, like people who have had strokes or Alzheimer's patients and stuff like that. So I work with a variety of clients. I have several really young clients that are either on the spectrum or have sensory tolerance issues or have Down syndrome. I work with them at a very young age and work on developing language and motivating them to speak and sing, or to speak and sing more clearly, kind of like a speech therapist would. Or I have some clients that have motor needs, and we work on playing instruments to work on building up their muscle strength. Or I have some adult clients. I have one that had a stroke, and we are working on regaining his ability to talk. And I have a few adult clients with mental health needs, like bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, and we work on community integration with them and making smart choices and keeping their lives organized and sane and stuff like that. We normally will work with them, maybe sometimes together to like learn an instrument. My client right now is really motivated to learn ukulele. So we've been learning ukulele songs, and helping keep her music organized has been like her task, like to keep it in alphabetical order and all this stuff. And she has, like, along with her schizophrenia, she also has a lot of anxiety going out into social situations. So I've actually started taking her to a local ukulele group hosted in the community. And then we go and she interacts with her peers there and talks with them mostly about like ukulele related stuff. And it just gives her a chance to go out, interact, practice those social skills. And a lot of times with clients like that too, we do a lot of songwriting. If they're like, I'm confused about this, then we can write a song about it and stuff like that. If it's someone with Alzheimer's, you want to use music that they would have known pre-Alzheimer's disease. So maybe songs from their childhood. I actually did my internship for music therapy with this population predominantly, and like the one-hit wonder song, the nursing home was You Are My Sunshine, because like everyone knows that song.
That's really cute.
You could have a woman, so you can have a woman who like has not spoken a word all day, and I can look at her and say, You are my, and she'll go, sunshine. Like, it's just like amazing. That music is stored in so many different parts of the brain, whereas speech and language are only stored and comprehended in one part of the brain, that chances are, as diseases progress, such as Alzheimer's or MS and stuff like that, there will still be parts of the brain left that can process music even after the speech and language ones are gone. I see it because I have many clients that receive many different services. Like a lot of our clients, because I work at a private practice, they're referred to us just like someone can be referred to a physical therapist or referred to the eye doctor. And a lot of times patients come to us after they've gone to a physical therapist or speech therapist or an occupational therapist, and they haven't been making progress because speech and occupational therapy and all of that work really well with clients with typically developing brains, but when you need that extra stimulus to make that connection, music therapy is the way to go, because a child with autism is going to need that extra stimulus to learn how to talk, instead of a speech therapist just like repeating over and over at him, say hello, or so whatever they do.
Yeah.
Not to say that speech therapy isn't invaluable, but I think it works better with children who do not have any other disabilities beyond the speech impediment or whatever they may have. And it's just motivating. It's a lot more fun to go and sing songs than it is to sit in an office and say, hello, hello. Like, we sing a hello song instead, and it's just way more motivating for the kids. And it's also true, like, I use this as an example too. All right, I'm going to tell you my phone number, and then I want you to repeat it back to me. And then I'm going to tell you my phone number again in a song, and I want you to repeat it back to me. This is my phone number. I'll tell you my work phone number. This is the one I use in the song for my clients when they call me. It's 608-780-4277. Do you remember the whole number?
608. No, I don't. I can't get past that. Okay. I don't remember.
And now I'm going to put it to the tune of Jingle Bells for you already. Okay. My number is 608-780-4277. Do you remember it now? Well, it might take more than one or two repetitions, but it's just like, I can like tell my clients my phone number, and then I can sing it to them, and at the end of the session I'll ask them my phone number, and they can like sing it back to me.
Oh.
But they don't remember it off the top of their head. It's like how you remember, you know, like, you see those commercials and they're like, JG Wentworth 877 cash now.
Yeah.
Like those commercials are. Like, you remember that because it's a jingle. You wouldn't remember the phone number if it wasn't. You know what I mean? Unless you watched it. Research has shown you'd have to, like, repeat it to yourself twice as many times with just typical speech patterns than if you, like, sang it to yourself in order to remember it successfully. So,
wow.
It's just a faster way to do things. Not saying that my clients are going to sing their ways through life, like eventually we transition it into normal speech, but it just helps them kind of catch up to their peers and kind of get back on track, so. It's very hard for me to be bored at my job. Every day is different. Every one of my clients is different. And if I start getting, you know, like, tired of this job that I'm at, I can always kind of move to a different setting and explore those options. So basically, I guess starting from, like, the little ones and working your way up, there are music therapists that can work in the NICU with premature babies that work on helping their sensory tolerance and helping them develop the ability to hear sounds and not get freaked out, because if they're out of the womb too early, that can be really damaging to, like, their eardrums or to their neural connections. So that's like, I guess, like the first instance where a music therapist could come in. And then I have a few clients that are diagnosed as early development needs. And basically what that is, pre-autism, even though that's not a real diagnosis. But it's just kids that are too young to be put on the spectrum. Like you have to, I think you have to reach a certain age before they can be really sure, like, oh, this is really what you have. And some of them don't have autism, but most of my clients that I see that are early development are kind of what I think they're going to be put on the spectrum. And it's just helping them work on their speech and language and sensory tolerance needs that, like other kids may love to play with the parachute, but these kids may not be able to touch it because of their sensory needs. And so we'll work on, working them up to just being able to receive all of life's craziness so that they can be successful kids and adults growing up. Then a lot of children are seeing school age to work on, and they could be in the school. There are music therapists that work in special education classrooms. And you can work inside of a school or in the school system and help kids work on academic skills and transitional needs, especially a lot of children with autism. Changes in their daily schedule, they get very rigid towards, and they do not like when their schedule changes on them and they don't know about it. So a lot of my children with autism, when we're done with something or we're moving on to something new, I just have like a quick transition song for them. Like we'll finish with an intervention and I'll say, all done, it's time for something new, and just sing it to them like 2 or 3 times, and then they're okay with doing something new. Whereas cool. I just took the instrument from them and said, okay, we're done now, they'd probably cry. Yeah. So, and working them towards accepting those transitions. A lot of music therapists work in school settings for that, and helping towards academic goals. Like they will just take their goals straight off of children's IEPs from their special education teachers and work with those. A lot of music therapists work with from elementary age up to like even like past through adulthood, like emotional needs of clients. Some clients with oppositional defiant disorder, getting them to like follow directions and stuff because they're really motivated by music and they don't want to not follow directions and they don't get to play with the instruments, so that kind of helps them. I have a few clients with depression that are teens. I used to have some adults with depression, but they have been discharged because they did really well, so now they're gone. So I have a few teenagers right now with major depressive disorder, and we're working on just kind of improving their quality of life because music is proven to give you more endorphins, kind of like when you work out, you get endorphins. Let's see, what else? Then we have like teenagers and going into adulthood. A lot of mental illnesses don't manifest or actually like can't be legally like diagnosed until you're 18 or 21. So we'll have clients come in that like, or just kind of like parents will say, we thought something was, kind of off their whole life, and they will end up being like bipolar when they're 21, and we work with them on adjusting to their new medications, because a lot of those medications can really like bog people down, and it's just like really hard to take it all in at once. It's a big transition. And so a lot of music therapists also work in mental health hospitals as well as typical medical hospitals. Music therapists can work with pain management. I have a lot of good friends now who I graduated with who work in children's hospitals, because if you have a child who comes in and gets too scared to do their echogram or whatever they need to do that day, then they have to reschedule the appointment. And then they have to sedate the child the next time they come in, and the child can't eat before, and it costs the hospital a lot of money and a lot of rescheduling. Whereas if a child is scared going into an echogram, the music therapist can, they call it, there's a different word, selective attention is what it is. I want to say like it's a distraction, but it's the medical term is selective attention. Well, they will get the child to pay attention to the music and play instruments with them. Meanwhile, like the doctor's like scanning their back or whatever, and they have no idea because they're like so excited to play this drum, which saves the hospital a lot of time and money and hassle rescheduling. It saves the parents money. They don't have to like medicate their child just to get a simple medical procedure done. Everyone wins. Or for just like pain management, like a lot of kids, if they get burned, if they have to get stitches, stuff like that, music can help distract them so they don't have to have as much pain medication going in to get procedures done. Let's see, and that's the same for like adults in the hospital too. You can do that. Music therapists will work they can work in nursing homes with older adults with stroke rehabilitation, like I mentioned before, and with Alzheimer's patients, like you had mentioned before, which is a big one for them. And they can work in hospice and in life care, whereas you can do music with the patient and their family, and work on helping the family through the grieving process. And a lot of times the clients will want to like write songs and stuff for their family that you can record and like give them a CD after they pass and stuff like that, just to help them remember their loved one and to process that grief. And sometimes a lot of clients are scared or need processing for what's coming next. Sometimes they're at peace and they're like, I'm ready to go. And sometimes they're like, I don't know how I feel about my life choices, and you can work through them together. And yeah, I think that's covered most of them from like birth to death, but there's just like a variety. Or like I work in a private practice, which is none of the above, but it's like me and 6 other music therapists have an office, and we have clients come to us or we go to their homes and work with them. And we can also be contracted out to do contracts with local school systems, and we can have contracts with, we have a school in our area called Cooley Connections that is for children with a lot of mental health needs that are kind of too disruptive in their typical classrooms at school, are sent to this school, so we will see them during the day there and work on social skills and helping them regulate, and helping them make smart choices like, what is something I can do instead of throw a chair when I'm angry? I could count backwards to 10. All right, let's like make a song about what to remember when you're angry and stuff like that. So yeah, kind of everywhere, few far in between, and I'm sure I have forgotten areas too. There's just so many ways you could go about it, which is nice. So hopefully, as a profession, that means if one door closes, another one opens, and hopefully it means I will never get bored with my job because I have so many different populations and settings I could work in, which is really nice to me. So
it sounds amazing.
Okay, my name is Chris Brown. I'm the band director at Lake Norman High School, and I've been a band director, music teacher for 20 years now, for 5 years in Georgia and 15 now at Lake Norman High School. And basically what I try to do with my students is, first and foremost, number one, it's important to me that they learn leadership skills and life skills inside band. And then secondary, but almost on par, is to help them learn how to love music for their life as opposed to just to get a grade. By and large, when they come in as freshmen, they're generally timid, a little scared, a little not quite sure what to expect, and very quiet. And then the longer they're in the program and around my student leadership, especially, a lot of kids who come out of middle school into the high school with not a really high sense of self-confidence and that type of thing, the program really helps them to develop and to grow and to be more outgoing and to be better leaders and better musicians, and I hope better people all the way around. Yes, I really do, because a lot of these students, we're on lunch at Lake Norman right now, and a lot of these kids get away from their math and science and their AP courses and everything else. The music is a form of release for them. It's very, in its very nature, it's very therapeutic, and it helps them to cope with everyday stresses. It helps them to have an outlet for something else to do that allows them to get their brains off of whatever their other studies might be or their other problems might be. They're kids with full loads of AP classes, kids with full loads of issues at home, and this really helps them to kind of escape. Really, the value is twofold. Number one, it gives these kids a sense of belonging. They're the largest single group of people on campus. We have 170 kids that are enrolled in band classes, and that doesn't include the ones that come over from the middle school to participate in different programs that we have. And so it gives them a sense of belonging, number one. Number two, it really helps to instill a sense of pride with them. It gives them incentives, well, not incentives, it really gives them an edge in their other classes as well, because we know that science has proven and studies have proven that being a music maker, being someone who is able to solve problems with sound and throughout other, as opposed to reading, be able to solve problems with their ears and eyes, develop additional neural pathways that make them better students in other subjects.
I'm Sophia Wagner. I have been in chorus all my life. My mom is a music teacher here at Lake High School, and I've always been around music. My mom has after-school lessons, and so whenever there's people at my house singing, I'm just singing along with them because I know all the songs that she does. And in my everyday life, I go to chorus, I'm in show choir, and then next semester I'll be in women's as well. And I love chorus because it's just what I do. I just sing all the time. And I've been in all the musicals, and I've done shows over the summers for stuff like that. Show choir impacts my day because everyone in there is so loving, and we're all connected by music. And the songs sing in my show choir. I dance with power and excitement because that song is so exciting to sing with. And I have a good connection with that song because I'm an exciting person, and that's an exciting song, and it's just upbeat and it makes you happy.
for your papa, hey. Sing it for the whole world, boy or girl, fan, and one fan. Hey, I wanna be okay. I'm human here.
have been singing all of my life. I'm going to be a vocal performance major in college. I am in both of the advanced choirs that Lee Norman offers, and I've really dedicated my entire life to singing and music. Working with music has always encouraged me to keep going when life's a little bit harder. It's when I'm uninterested in my other classes at school, it's just been a source of encouragement to work harder, and I've really poured myself into music, and I work my butt off to do well in music. I actually really love the song Dream On that we're doing in strip choir, even though I'm a single lady. I really love singing Dream On. It's just a very powerful song, and I don't know, I love my voice part in it. And the choreography is really, really gorgeous and very strong, but so flowy. I like it, and singing Dream On makes me happy.